What is your opinion on the new digital currency the government wants to roll out?
What is my opinion on the digital currency? Okay, so this is a big one. I think it's terrible. Now, we've been using a form of digital currency for a long time. We have credit cards, and most of our money is held in bank accounts. The majority of transactions these days are not done with cash; they're done through credit card or something that is not using a physical form of currency. That's the same thing as digital currency. The government, though, wants to go down a path where 100% of transactions, no matter what it is done with digital currency in a digital transaction. They want to eliminate physical capital. By doing so, they now have power to oversee every single transaction that's done in an individual's life. If you want to go pay a porn prescription, they're going to see it. If you want to go buy a gun, which I think is the primary reason they want to do this. But if you want to buy a firearm, they can see it. If you want to buy ammunition, they can see it. If you want to travel, they can see where you're going, where you're traveling to. Now, again, most people are using digital transactions, but you don't have to. You can use cash. They also are doing so that they can increase tax revenue. Cash transactions, there's no way to track them. So the IRS has to rely on someone who is bringing in cash, let's say a stripper or a lot of self-employed people that are bringing in cash. The IRS relies on them to be honest on their tax returns. Are they? Probably not. So who is it that they are really trying to tax? They say that, oh, we're going to increase taxes on the wealthy to try and build up the lower middle class. But people who are wealthy usually are using, very large transactions, probably wiring money that is traceable. They're doing more trackable transactions, in my opinion. They may do a lot with cash too, but on a relative scale, I think that lower earners are the ones bringing in more cash and doing cash transactions, and the majority of people below 50% of income, the bottom 50% of income earners aren't paying any federal income taxes. You're not going to increase tax revenue by taxing the rich. You increase tax revenue by lowering the lowest tax brackets and capturing everybody. You have to increase taxes on the lower class to increase tax revenue. The other joke is that, I think tax revenue to GDP is usually around 17%, regardless of tax brackets. And for the government to come out and say, well, we're going to increase taxes on people, but they're still going to earn the same relative amount of tax revenue is pointless. If you can get 17% but tax people less, or have a lower tax rate, because when you lower tax rates, you get more tax revenue. Why wouldn't you do so? Taxes is nothing but a form of coercion. It's the one thing that if you decide not to pay it, you can go to jail. If you don't pay a credit card company, they hit you with your credit. Okay, great. Yeah, it's a, kind of a setback when you're trying to get a loan or whatever, and that sucks. But you're not going to jail. But if you don't pay the government, they're going to put you in jail. They're going to come after you. What is stealing, right? It's a form of armed robbery almost. Having a digital currency with no form of physical currency to use in transactions is another form of control, and they're eliminated total monetary freedom. Financial freedom is one of the most important freedoms we have. Financial and economic freedom. People think that their ability to say what they want is the biggest thing, and it's a very, the right to free speech is very important. But financial and economic freedom is even more so, I would say. And being able to track everything, even if it's a $2 purchase of a candy bar at the gas station, is such an overstep of privacy that and let's be honest, the government does not have a great history of respecting personal privacy, especially after 9/11. Look at the Patriot Act. Look at what happened with the whole Edward Snowden deal. Now we're going to be okay with them having a digital form of currency. Not to mention, this goes into the whole modern monetary theory, whereas they can print as much money as they need to, let's say they want to give out free healthcare. Great. We're going to print whatever the cost is, $100 billion a year for free healthcare. No matter what our economy does, they're just going to be able to make that money up and give it out and pay for healthcare, and then obviously inflation is going to increase. So what are they going to do? They're going to increase taxes. The problem with that is now they are taxing just to reduce the value of the money, or sorry, to increase the value of the money and reduce inflation, instead of taxing you like they do now to get revenue to pay for it. Because it doesn't matter if they bring in tax revenue in terms of accounting purposes to pay for their expenditures when they have modern monetary theory, because they can just create money. It doesn't matter, right? People think that we're there. We're not there yet, but we're going down this path. So taxation becomes a means of manipulating the value of currency instead of bringing in revenue to pay for expenses. And that is even worse. You're going to not only steal my money right now to pay for things that I don't even know what you're paying for, but now you want to go down the route and just take my money because you have just made so much money you have to lower or increase the value of it. You got to get rid of inflation. It's the ultimate form of robbery. And I think that we have really gone backwards when it comes to allowing our government to steal money from us.